brought the music back to life. My older brother made our little sister cry on her 10th birthday, and honestly, I've never been more amazed. When Jake was 17, a bad spill on his dirt bike tore the nerves in his left arm. The doctors were blunt. They said he'd have normal movement, but he'd never play his beloved acoustic guitar again. For a long time, the guitar just gathered dust in the corner. But our little sister Mia desperately missed the music. Jake used to strum her to sleep every single night. Usually, she'd sit on his bed chattering away, and he'd just nod along. But one afternoon, after a really rough day at elementary school, she came home completely heartbroken. She buried her face in his shoulder and whispered, "I just wish you could play my song, Jake. It always made me feel better." After that day, Jake started locking himself in the detached garage. Whenever I walked by, the door was deadbolted and the rock radio was blasting, loud. I just figured he was blowing off steam like a typical teenager. Then came Mia's 10th birthday barbecue in the backyard. Right after she blew out the candles, Jake stood up and the whole patio went dead silent. He walked inside and came back holding that dusty acoustic guitar. He looked terrified. He took a deep, shaky breath, planted his fingers on the fretboard, and played the beautiful opening chords to her favorite lullaby. It wasn't fast, and his fingers were practically trembling, but it was perfect. Mia burst into tears before running over and grabbing him in a giant hug. And suddenly it hit me. All those weeks in the locked garage, he was drowning out the sound of his own mistakes, pushing through agonizing cramps, forcing his hand to relearn the strings, all for this exact moment. Mia kept crying, repeating the words, "You played it, Jake! You really played it!" Jake didn't say a word. He just smiled. His fingers were red and raw, but his eyes were shining brighter than they had in years. Because for the first time since the accident, he wasn't just surviving. He was making music again.